This is a quick demonstration showing how VMware, Cisco, and EMC are working together to make management and scale deployments simple and easy. What we've got here is we've got two vSphere ESX4 hosts in a vSphere cluster, and each one of them has 100 virtual machines. That 100 virtual machines are currently stored, if we go to the data store view, on two data stores, Appliance 1 and Appliance 2. So there's a total of 200 virtual machines on two ESX servers. Now that may seem very high, but these are running on Cisco's UCS systems, which are very, very powerful servers and supported by VMAX, which is very, very advanced storage. Now, what we're going to demonstrate is how easily we can double that scale with a few simple steps. Let's start looking at the UCS Manager. The UCS Manager is designed for managing at scale, and managing at scale is all around templates, being able to do things in very standardized ways. So for example, for the UCS use case, the idea are these service profiles. So a service profile is everything that defines a server configuration, from LANs, VLANs, vSANs, firmware revs, all sorts of details. And what we've done is we've just applied one to server 3. The next thing that we're going to do is apply it to a second server. Basically a very, very simple set of steps assigns and configures everything that you need to know for a server, its networking, and its storage SAN configuration. This is a strong benefit of the UCS system using a unified fabric leveraging 10 gigabit Ethernet and FCOE. Now the next step in the sequence is, and by the way, taking a quick look here, you can see that server 3 is properly configured with its interface cards, and now as those servers are booting, you can see that we've configured them to boot from the SAN and boot to ESX configuration that automatically configures the system with a bare metal ESX 4.0 configuration. The next demonstration is one of VMware's contribution to this idea of managing at scale. So similar idea, how do you take a series of servers and quickly make them all the same? Here we've added them to the cluster. You can see them there in maintenance mode, but there's various configuration differences that need to be applied to each one of the servers. So what we're going to do is we're going to leverage vSphere's new Esx Host Profiles feature, where we can apply a profile which configures everything ranging from networking vSwitches, distributed vSwitches, service console configuration, DNS configurations, and NTP configuration. A whole slew of things can be applied automatically to servers as they're introduced to the cluster, bringing them into a compliant state and now making them ready to add and host VMs. We've effectively now doubled our compute, memory, and CPU capabilities of that individual cluster, and you can see momentarily that they go from the warning state to all properly configured. The next step in the configuration is the storage piece. Now normally this involves many, many steps of configuring storage, presenting it to hosts and servers. But once again, VMAX is designed for scale, just like UCS and just like vSphere. So what there's this idea of a storage template. So for example, here what we're going to do is we're going to configure a storage template for this particular demonstration. It includes all the details for the storage configuration, and the VMAX array can either find an existing configuration or create a new one based on that template. Now the next steps of storage is that once those templates are defined, you create the association between the template, the storage objects, and the actual host. And in this case, the hosts are all part of a cluster. This is again a much, much simplified step versus traditional methods of block storage configuration. Here we're reconfiguring a storage group. We're adding the individual storage objects to that, and using these storage templates and these provisioning group capabilities of the VMAX, we can apply these at scale across the entire cluster. Now in this example, again, we've done it for 2 ESX hosts, but we've in essence added 2 hosts with an additional 200 VMs worth of storage of compute capacity, and also a terabyte of storage in just a few simple point-and-click operations. So we're going to commit this change. Change is committed, and now basically everything is up and running. Coming back to the ESX cluster, the next thing that we need to do is actually provision the VMs themselves. Now deploying these additional 200 VMs, there's several ways to do it. You could do it from templates, you could do it from cloning existing VMs, which is much, much faster in vSphere than it was in the prior versions of virtual infrastructure. But what we've done here is we've created a tool that uses the PowerShell and VI SDK capabilities of vSphere to automate this task at very large scale. Many of our customers find this capability useful for a broad set of use cases, ranging from virtual desktops to virtual server use cases. So here we're entering in the virtual server authentication credentials. We're identifying what host we're starting from. We're indicating what data store hosts the template files. We're identifying the template that we want to use. And then simply identifying the number of VMs that we want to deploy from that template. This can be using the natural capabilities of vSphere, but in addition it can integrate with the EMC array capabilities to augment and the speed of the VM template-based deployment. So if you look here within the vSphere vCenter interface, you'll quickly see that additional sets of VMs will start to appear as the clone operations occur. Again, it takes approximately a few seconds per VM due to the speed of the underlying Cisco UCS and EMC vMax infrastructure. An area that both VMware, Cisco, and EMC are working on is actual future vStorage API array integration to offload this procedure for deploying VMs from templates to make it even faster. So here's the template operations complete. It's important to take note. In just a few minutes, we were able to double our infrastructure capability. We were able to go from 2 Esx hosts with 200 VMs up to 400 virtual machines in just a few minutes and a few clicks. And not just at one layer of the infrastructure, but all the elements of the infrastructure. The servers, the network, the storage, and the VMware layers. We're able to do that because all three companies from VMware, Cisco, and EMC are working on making their management infrastructure and management tools simple and easy to use, but at very large scale environments. First, we used the Ucs Manager to deploy the servers using service profiles. Those made configuring servers and all the elements of the server itself, the firmware, the LAN, the SAN configuration, all a simple, easy configuration step. We're able to use vSphere's Esx Host Profiles to take those servers and automatically ensure that all of their configuration parameters were compliant against the host profile for that individual cluster. And then we were able to use the EMC vMax management capabilities to deploy storage templates, simple standardized storage configurations, and be able to deploy them at very large cluster scale using auto provisioning groups. Again, these three companies are working together to help our customers build internal and external clouds that can be deployed and managed simply and easily at very large scale, thus delivering incredible efficiency improvements.